my channel, y'all. It has been a minute since I said that. If y'all are tuned in with my page, y'all know my last video was about like 2 months ago, and then I left y'all in the dust, but there's a good reason why, kind of, and I'm gonna get into all that, honey. So grab your popcorn, because this video we just gonna talk and I'm gonna tell y'all what's been going on. Also, look, I know I got the bonnet on, I know I'm looking crusty, but I'm giving y'all real, I'm giving y'all raw. So like, what more can you really ask for? Okay, so first things first, we gotta hit that rewind button, baby. Let me take y'all all the way back to June. June was literally supposed to be bringing in the summer vibes, y'all. Like literally, I was achieving such a big milestone. I was graduating college. I was so happy to be finally freed of the school shackles and have my first summer being 21 and plan stuff and take trips and be outside. Like y'all, I literally had so much planned this summer, even with my business. Like June was literally supposed to be that girl. And I'm not gonna lie, the beginning of June definitely did come with that energy, because y'all, graduation was literally like one of the best moments. Like it was definitely bittersweet, you know, just like knowing that some of the people I came into college with, it's like now we're all going our separate ways. I've known y'all for 4 years, and now life is about to take us on completely different paths. And just also just like looking at how far I've came, like from being a freshman to like actually finishing and graduating college. Like y'all, when I tell you, there's so many people like that I knew my freshman year that didn't even make it like through freshman year, and just knowing that I was able to like stick to the plan and get that done in 4 years and have my homegirls beside me, like literally I had the best weekend. It was just so, and then my family was here. I think I mentioned that in my graduation vlog part 1, but I had so much family come out and support me. Like y'all, I literally had relatives flying from Africa, Michigan, Cali, Texas, like literally everywhere. It was so surreal, and just like I felt so much love, and it just was like I was just so happy to be experiencing that and going through that. And I was just like, oh my gosh, summer is about to be great. Like if this is how I'm starting off, this summer is gonna be great. I had trips planned, I had business stuff planned. I was just looking forward to it all. So yeah, essentially my first half of June was just like spending time with people and just being with my family, and my cousins actually did end up staying a little longer, so that was really great. Like I got to spend time with them, and I was just like, dang, y'all are going so fast. Like literally the last time I had seen my little cousin, I think she was like 5, my other one was like 10, and it's like now they're grown. My little cousin, he be talking about some, what did he be saying? He be like, oh, he be like, you're glazing, bro, you're glazing, bro. Like he just be throwing all this new vocab around, and I'm like, y'all kids got me feeling old. Them kids really kept me on my toes, because I think they were here for like about a month, and that whole time I was constantly trying to find new ways to keep them entertained, because you know how it be with kids. If you've ever been around kids, they always talking about something, I'm bored, can we do something, can we do this, can we do. So I was always trying to find a way to keep them entertained. And one of my cousins, he's 13, he's really into basketball, and so it just became a habit for us to go to the basketball court, because you know that was just something that we all was just like, okay, we can all agree that this is fun for us to do. Now for those y'all who know me, y'all know I am not athletic, okay? I do a little 1-2, I do a little workout, I do a little jogging, I do a little this and that, but for the most part, you know, I like to just, you know, put a cute little outfit on, surf face, and call it a day, okay? Every single time I took these kids to the basketball court, they always try to drag me into playing with them. It'd be like, Tino, can you please, can you please, can you please? And you know, sometimes I would be like, all right, whatever. I wouldn't really do too much, but I would make a couple shots, call it a day. But this one day, I don't know what it was, I don't know who I was feeling like. We were playing a game, I think it was like 3v2, I don't even know, bro. I don't even know the terms. This is how you know I don't play. But we was playing, and I guess I was feeling like Kobe. I don't know what got a hold of me, but I was just feeling like that girl. Man, I was running up and down the court, I was dribbling the ball, I was do-do-do-do, I was making shots. Like I don't know who I was feeling like. I'm running down the court at one point, and y'all, when I tell you, like literally I can't even explain what happened to me, because it all happened so fast. I was running on the court, and I had the ball, I was dribbling the ball, I was running on the court. And then all of a sudden I feel this sharp pain, like this sharp kick in the back of my leg, and I was like, I turned around, I looked around to see if somebody was behind me, like if one of my cousins accidentally kicked me or something, and there was nobody behind me. So I remember I like thought I heard a pop, and so I told my cousin, I was like, bro, I think I heard a pop. He was like, no, I didn't hear nothing, and so I was kind of in pain, but I wasn't like in excruciating pain, but it just like hurt a little, and I was just like sitting on the floor for a little bit. I was like, dang, that hurt. Like whatever I just did, sprained it or twisted it, whatever it was, that hurt. So then I get to standing up, and y'all, my foot just felt like disconnected from my leg. So like, let's say this is my heel, my foot felt like it was like coming off of my heel, if that makes sense. And so I was trying to walk, and it just felt like my foot wasn't even like walking with me. Like it was just such a weird feeling. But I've never experienced any type of injury or any type of pain in my leg or anywhere in my body, so I didn't even really know what it was. I was just thinking maybe this is a really bad sprain. Once they wrapped up their game and everything, I'm like, all right, cool, let me try to drive us home. Y'all, I couldn't even step on the gas pedal. Like I couldn't even put no pressure on my foot to try to drive. So I had to call my dad. I'm like, Dad, do you think you can come and pick us up? Because I don't know what I did to my foot, but I cannot drive. Fast forward a couple hours later, I get to the house. You know, both my parents are in the healthcare field, so you know, there was this assessing my leg. They both was like, I think it's fine. It's just a little swollen, but it could have been a sprain. Iced my leg, elevated it, and just kept doing that routine for the next 2 days. That third day I woke up, I was like, nah. nah, something ain't right. Cause like, you know, like your body will tell you when like things are not really like, some ain't adding up. And so in my head I was like, I don't think this feels right. And so I called my dad, and I was like, do you think we could go to urgent care, because whatever going on over here, whether it's a sprain or not, I need to get it checked out, because it just didn't feel right. Y'all, this is when it all came downhill. Come to find out, y'all, this was not a sprain. It was not a twist. The first place that I got checked out at, they told me that I had a partial tear in my Achilles. Now, I'm a bio major, but I never heard of anything on my body called a Hercules. Like, I was just like, what the heck is an Achilles? So the doctor broke it down. She was like, since this is a partial tear, you probably won't need any surgery. It's not anything like you have to really worry about. Just a couple weeks of recovery, and then you'll be good. I'm like, all right, cool. Hot girl summer is still in action. But she's like, you know, just to make sure, just go get checked at a podiatry, just to, you know, just so that they can finalize the results. I'm like, all right, cool. But she ran the test here, everything is a-okay, I'm fine. Couple weeks out, I'll be all right. Got it. Or so I thought. The next day I go to the podiatrist. He doing all these tests with my legs. He's like, yeah, this ain't no partial tear, this is a complete rupture.
Hand me the black amount.
I was like, bro, what the freak? I literally remember breaking down crying in there. I called my mom. Like, I was just so upset because he was talking to me about all these things. You're gonna have to get surgery. It's a 6-month recovery. I'm sitting here, I'm like, 6 months? As in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6? All because I played a stupid, dumb little basketball game. That definitely was not something that I wanted to be hearing, but you know, I was like, you know what? Life happens. The only thing I can really do from here on out is get that surgery and focus on recovering. Fast forward to the day of my surgery, I remember being in that waiting room and I started crying. Like, I don't even know why I was crying. I think I was just like overwhelmed at the fact that I was like, dang, I really have to get surgery. And just like, you know, just being scared, because not saying that anything wrong could have happened like with this particular injury, but like, you never know. So I just was feeding my head with a lot of like, you know, just fears and doubts, and I was just scared, to say the least. I really had nothing to be scared about though, because the whole surgery process was just really smooth. The staff was just, you know, making sure that I was well taken care of. The nurses were super nice and caring. Doctor did his thing. The only thing that I will say kind of spooked me out a little bit is, I don't know if any of y'all have ever been put under anesthesia, but that whole experience was so surreal, because the doctor, he was like, he let me know when he was about to send it through. So right before I went on the surgery table, they had me like with the oxygen mask just to breathe in 100% oxygen, just to clear my lungs out and everything. And then they put the like anesthesia tube or whatever in my hand, and then he was like, okay, we're gonna send the anesthesia through. As soon as I said okay, he was like, we're gonna send the anesthesia through. And I shook my head. I was like, okay. As soon as I did that, bro, like I don't remember nothing else. As soon as I shook my head, I was out, because I felt it like come by my hand. I felt it like just like touch my hand a little bit. Next thing you know, I'm waking up, I'm inside of the little like recovery room again, and I'm looking around. I see my mom and my dad on the side, I see a nurse on the side, and I'm just like, huh? The first 2 days after my surgery were the most painful days. Like my leg constantly felt like it was throbbing. Like I could still feel like my leg was being cut into. Like it was just, I don't even know how to explain it, but the pills that they gave me was not strong enough. Next time I'm gonna need a perk 30. No, I'm just playing. But literally, like the stuff that I was taking, like I literally did not feel like it was working. I was just like, bro, I am in so much pain, and I was just crying because of how much pain I was in. If you follow my TikTok, y'all already know it's tea, because I literally post on my TikTok every single day. So I was posting injury updates, I was posting the pain, I was posting the progress, I was posting all that. So if you want to see the behind the scenes of, you know, me recovering and everything else, go check out my TikTok. After surgery, this is kind of where things started to take a dark turn for me. I don't want to cry. I'm trying not to cry, but like, ugh. So yeah, after surgery, it was just really hard adjusting to my new routine, my new life, having to kind of learn like how to go from being independent and doing things on my own to just relax. Let me lock in. But yeah, just like going from being independent to having to rely on everyone for everything, especially how I was saying, like the first couple of days of surgery where I was in a lot of pain. I was just super weak. Like my mom would try to encourage me to walk, because you know it's important to still make sure that my body was moving somehow so that it doesn't form blood clots in my other leg. And so she would try to get me to walk around the house. Man, like even a couple steps was just so draining for me. And so everything just became like a hassle. Everything just became really negative for me, and that really affected my mindset. It's just like you don't realize how crucial things in your body are until they're not working no more. Like you wouldn't sit here and think like, oh, thank God I can walk. Like obviously it's a blessing that you can walk, right? But that's not something that you sit here and think about every single day. Like, ooh, look at me walking. Like you don't sit there and think about that. So when you go from being able to stand in the shower, being able to walk and run up and down the stairs, and being able to do all this stuff, to having to sit in the shower on a shower bench, or having to use crutches, or having to ask someone to carry stuff for you or bring your food or whatever the case may be, it just becomes mentally draining. Because for me, it was just like, as someone who's independent, I'm just like, dang, like I really can't do nothing by myself right now. Like I'm literally useless. So I fell into a spiral of depression. Like literally, that was probably the lowest that I had ever been, because I didn't really know what to do with myself. I kept thinking about all the stuff I had planned. I had a trip I wanted to take. I had some business stuff I wanted to launch. And it's just like, I just felt like having all that stuff on pause and not being able to do nothing about it. I was just like stuck. And so I started to neglect myself. I wasn't taking care of myself that much. I was just sitting on that couch, withering away, eating junk food. Me and DoorDash was like this, okay? Me and DoorDash was locked in. Me and that couch was locked in. I binge watched a whole 5-season series in a week. 5 seasons, 20 something episodes each, done in a week. I wasn't sleeping. I went to bed at like 7 in the morning, would wake up at like 5 p.m. or I would go to bed at like 7, wake up at 2. Like I just went through like about a month of me just not really doing much, not caring for myself. Honestly, like the thing that really helped me pull through was my support system. Like I'm so grateful that I have my mom, my dad, my sister. Like they just were really supportive in my time of need, and you know, everything that I needed was taken care of, and I never felt like I was asking for too much because they were the ones that were always offering, like, do you need this, do you need this? Sorry y'all, I'm trying to keep it pee, but your girl's a little bit sensitive, okay? But I told y'all I'm giving y'all real and I'm giving y'all raw, so don't judge me. But yeah, my family, super grateful for them. And during this time of what I was going through, I really did realize like my family was kind of all I really needed, because this is like no shade to like anybody in particular, or anybody, you know, that might be watching this and be like, oh, she's subtweeting me, whatever. But it's like my friends who, like, you know, I would expect to like be there, my friends, you know, people I expected to come check up on me, come be there for me, you know, like, it's not like I would have really like asked for much. Like, I'm not asking people to come see me every day and come, you know, I'm not trying to ask people to like, you know, be around me hand and foot and whatnot. But for me, like, I kind of was going through a period of loneliness, because I just felt like the people who I thought would, you know, be around me or like, you know, be checking up on me and stuff like that would be a little bit more present during this time for me. And it's not like I'm trying to be a pick-me. I understand everybody goes through life, and you know, there's a lot of things that happen in everybody else's daily life that, you know, takes a toll on them too. I totally get that. But I got to a place where I was trying to put myself in other people's shoes, and I was like, if it was me, and if I was, you know, a friend to somebody who did this to themselves and was, you know, going through a period where I knew my friend's life had changed and they weren't really able to do the things they talked about, and they weren't really able to get out much and like things like that, like, I would at least make, you know, an effort to go check up on my friend and make sure that my friend is good, like, you know, stuff like that. Go talk to them, go entertain them for a little bit, things like just to keep them in the right spirit, right mindset. And so I kind of fell in a period of loneliness because it just like seemed like I didn't really have anybody other than my family. Of course, I didn't really have anybody like there for me. Some of my friends live far away, other of my friends, you know, they got life going on and stuff like that. And so I just honestly like feeling that feeling of loneliness that like added on to my depression. And yeah, like, I just was in that cycle for about a month until I was like, you know what, life ain't stopping for nobody. Like, you know what I mean? This is when I started to pick my pieces up. I started to pivot. I started to make those changes. I was like, okay, I still can do things. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I know my situation is drastic and I know it's unfortunate, but there are so many other people who are going through worse. Like, somebody died today. Somebody's mom died today. Somebody got diagnosed with cancer today. Somebody is like, you know, there's just so much other stuff that could have happened that didn't. And it's not like my injury, I'm not minimizing my situation and trying to dismiss how I feel, but I had to look at it and be like, okay, you have an injury, your leg, you can't walk, but what can you do about it? There's still always something you can do about it. And so I started to pour back into myself. If you are tuned in with my TikTok, like I said, y'all need to go tune in with my TikTok, because I actually did start a new series recently where I talked about rebranding myself, just talking about, you know, how I have been neglecting myself and how I want to make that pivot into becoming the girl that I really want to be. Y'all know I want to be young, black, successful. I want to be an influencer. I want to be an entrepreneur. I want to be somebody great. And I'm just like, I'm sitting on the couch all day, scrolling on TikTok all day. Baby, I'm not influencing nothing. Like, you know what I mean? And so that just made me want to kind of like pick my pieces up little by little, change how I was eating, pick back up into like a good routine and stuff like that. And so yeah, go check out my new series on TikTok. It's called Becoming Her. I'm currently working on it at the moment, So go tap in. That being said, I was finally making that progression into, you know, moving forward and kind of getting back in the groove of things. I had also got into a point with my injury where I was starting to do physical therapy. I was getting very close to walking. I had a boot and stuff, and so there's certain wedges in my boot. I take one out a week. There's 3 of them. I had dropped down to my second wedge, so I was 2 weeks away from walking. I was really amped. I was really excited. I ordered some clothes. I'm like, okay, I'm getting ready for my comeback. I'm finna order the clothes. I'm finna get my business stuff going up again and pick it up, and you know, see when I can launch within this month, and just like, you know, trying to get back in the groove of things while my leg is getting closer to the finish line. 2 weeks away from the finish line, bro. 2 weeks away from being able to walk again. And last night I was coming out the shower, the floor was wet, and my crutches slipped. I slipped on the floor. I don't know what happened, y'all. It literally just happened so quick because there's no bathroom mats. I was using the bathroom downstairs so that I wouldn't have to like hop upstairs and use the bathroom upstairs. So I've been using bathroom downstairs. I have my shower bench and everything had been going pretty good. Last night the floor was wet. I put my crutches under my arms. Crutches went flying. My leg went flying. I don't even know what happened. I just remember landing in a way that just hurt my leg so bad. I started screaming, and my sister came running downstairs, and I just knew it wasn't anything good. The way my leg felt, it felt that same kind of disconnection I experienced the first time. So I automatically knew. I was like, I'm done. Like, my leg literally got re-injured again. I felt it. I knew it. And unfortunately for me at the time, my parents were at work, so it was just me and my sister. And so we were calling my parents. My dad sent the ambulance over to my house. They were asking me all these questions, and then they sent me over to the emergency room. Luckily, my dad was able to leave work and meet me at the emergency room, so I'm really grateful for that. So I wasn't, you know, going through that alone. I just remember feeling so broken when, like, I just knew, like I said, like, I knew my leg re-ruptured again. And I just remember, I was just like, why is this happening to me? Like, I was so close to the finish line and so close to finally being able to finally get control of my life again and take those steps forward, just for me to take 5 steps forward and 50 steps back, like, you know. And I was crying all night from 8 p.m. till this morning till about 12 p.m. I was just crying. I was just upset. I prayed. I was asking. I was like, God, I know everything happens for a reason, and I know everything is a part of a bigger plan, but what's the plan? Like, what's the plan? What's the reason? I'm not understanding. And so I was just really upset about it. And yeah, y'all, it was bad. I was not happy. Yeah, so we was at the emergency room for about 7 hours. We got there at 8, didn't leave until 3 a.m. I was told that my injury did in fact re-rupture again. There's about a 1 centimeter gap between the tendon. And so from here, is just going all over the process again, repeating everything again, getting surgery again, going through the recovery again, wearing the cast for 4 weeks again, just everything that I didn't want to do again. And I'm just like, bro, that's so irritating, because your girl was finally being able to, you know, walk. I was walking around with a boo and my crutches. I was finally able to make them advancements forward, and I was just so excited just for all of it to come crumbling down again. It's very unfortunate that this had to happen again and that I had to experience this again. But I was telling myself, I'm like, you know what, girl, if you was able to go through it the first time, you can go through it the second time. And obviously this is not the ideal situation. Nobody wants to repeat something like this again. But I'm just hoping and praying that, you know, everything goes well, because all I can do now is just focus on the recovery process again and being more careful, and just hoping that surgery goes well and everything else. So right now all I can do is really take control of my life now and focus on building for the future. What makes it better for me this time around is I already know how to maneuver. Somebody said it's like taking a test you already have the answers to, and that's really the perfect way to explain it. So I'm pretty sure this time around everything will go a little bit smoother, and this time around I am not letting this injury control my life. Like, I cried about it, I let my feelings out and everything. Obviously I still feel some type of way about it, because, you know, it's fresh and it's still like annoying that I have to go through this process again, but I am not letting this injury break me down no more. That is why I'm sitting in front of this camera right now, sharing my story, sharing my emotions, because I'm like, you know what, I'm not gonna take another 3-4 months off of YouTube. I can vlog while I'm going through what I'm going through. This is something new that not everybody experiences, so why not share my journey, share my process, and, you know, just find ways to still do the things I love even with this injury. This is real, this is raw, this is what's happening in my life right now, so why not share that? I'm also just going to continue brainstorming ways that, you know, I can come back bigger and better from this, because like I said, I'm not gonna let this slow me down. I still have a lot of things planned. I'm still brainstorming a lot of things for my brand. I actually still might drop one of my products that I have been working on for a while that I was supposed to drop at the beginning of the summer. I might still drop that. I'm still trying to figure out how I want to go around things, but yeah, I'm honestly just in a different mindset now with this injury the second time around, because the first time I let it swallow me up and eat me up and, you know, put me in a negative place. But this time I'm like, you know what, I got the cheat code, I know what to do now. It's not the end of my life. I'm gonna figure it out. I'm gonna do something about it. But yeah, that about sums up my life so far. 2025 has not been my best year, but that's okay, because, you know, everything happens for a reason. Like I said, everything is part of a plan, and I'm excited to finally be sitting back in front of the camera and just figuring out ways that I can still be producing content and still doing the things I love, even, you know, in this time of whatever we want to call it. That being said, if you want to continue being tuned in on my journey, make sure you subscribe, make sure you like, make sure you comment, because I will be taking you along on this rebranding journey with me, and, you know, we're making them advancements forward. I'm gonna be that girl in all 2026 prepared to be sick of me, okay? 2026 is gonna be my year, and I'm stamping that. Anywho, thank you for tuning in on this video. I know it was a little lengthy, I know I talked your ear off, but hopefully I kept y'all entertained, and, you know, hopefully I kept y'all inspired, because whatever you're going through in life, just know that you're gonna come out of it better, and just know that there's always a way around your circumstances, okay? Your circumstances don't gotta be the end of you, okay? Focus on positive things, focus on moving forward, and just focus on the fact that you will come out of it a better person. All right, y'all, thank you for watching my channel. Make sure you tune in with the other videos on my channel, and I will catch you in the next upload. Bye.
Don't play with it, don't be dishonest. Still not